Hello, class, everybody. Hello, everyone. Um, Let me introduce our wonderful guest artist, concert pianist, and professor Anne Schein. Let me read some excerpts from her bio. In the words of Washington Post, thank heaven for Anne Schein. What a relief is it to hear a pianist who, with no master or fuss, simply reaches right into the heart of whatever she's playing and creates music so powerful you cannot tear yourself away. And um, Miss Schein had a celebrated career with Carnegie Hall debut under the management of Sol Hurok, who was a legendary impresario and who brought major orchestras and soloists and opera companies to United States and also to Europe and all over the world, in fact. And that career took our artists, today's artists, more than 50 countries and numerous recitals. And for example, the Rachmaninoff Third Pedal Concerto, which is one of our artist's favorite pieces, she has performed over 100 times, and literally thousands of recitals, wonderful recordings, and not just solo, but chamber music, working with major conductors such as George Sell, James Levine, Sir Jeff Saba, James DePriest, and Sir Colin Davis, New York Philharmonic, Philadelphia, LA Phil, Baltimore Symphony, London Philharmonic, BBC Symphony Orchestra, and many others. Major concert halls such as Albert Hall, Promenade concerts, and Carnegie Hall, as I mentioned, and as well as other major halls throughout the world. Um, and Ms. Schein studied under legendary teachers Mieczysław Münz and Arthur Rubinstein, and as well as Demer has, and with Chopin cycles at Lincoln Center and many other theme concerts, as well as a lot of chamber music, recording on labels such as Sony Classical and other important um, labels, both in solo and chamber music. And she'd been a faculty at Peabody Conservatory for 20 plus years and almost 35 years at Aspen Music Festival, and now um, at Mannes School of Music, Mannes College of Music in New York City, with many awards and many wonderful achievements. And I was very fortunate to study with Ms. Schein myself in the summers 91 and 92 at Aspen Music Festival. And that's how our wonderful acquaintance started and continues to this day. And it was one of my happiest moments, both musically and as a being with such a wonderful human being and a kind person. I vividly remember our lessons, believe it or not, very well, really well. And so it's been a really wonderful experience I'll always cherish. So let's give a round of applause to Anne Schein.
I do like you do in Russia for all of you. Thank you for coming and being here so we can be together with the music. It's great.
Thank you. So our program today will start with Sebastian Stern playing Scriabin Sonata Number 3, probably just the first movement. We'll start with that, and after that, Vakana Hamada will play Debussy Reflections in the Water, and then we'll have Brian Liu with his cello partner, Brandon perform a Rachmaninoff cello sonata for us. So let's welcome Sebastian. Let me make Sebastian spotlighted on this. Okay, Sebastian, you can go.
That's very beautiful. Thank you very much. I think you love this piece.
Yes, I do.
Yes. Is it the first sonata of Scriabin you have played, or have you done others?
This is the first one.
First one. Did you choose it?
Yes.
Yes. Can you share with us what you love about it in any way, or is that too deep a question?
I can share. Yeah, I really like the programmatic aspect of this sonata as compared to.
Programmatic.
Yeah.
Can you define that a little bit?
Well, Scriabin himself wrote specific phrases to describe each of the movements.
And what things appeal to you that he said or described?
I really like the phrases that he used to describe each of the movements.
The phrases.
Yeah.
Anything about the harmony?
Yes, that too, but it
The
wasn't.
harmonic colors? I'm very close to your left hand, so I'm imagining the sound is probably more equal right to left. You're not favoring one over the other. I think it's just the way I hear it here. I'm closest to your left hand.
Well, my microphone is also very.
Yeah, well, whatever can be adjusted to make it more equal, that would be helpful. So what about the main key? Are you hearing that very strongly in your ear when you start?
Yes.
What is it?
F sharp minor.
I see. What kind of key in your mind is that? And does that call up any moods or images, or why did he choose that? That's pretty incredible key. F sharp minor? Or do you think it just happened?
I don't really know why. But
You don't know.
I
Can
know
you
this was
start it
expected.
once more and really think about the key that you're playing in? Now, to my ears, when you are going more deeply into the color and the darkness of that key, you play, I think, more coherently. Does that make sense to you? I mean, he's harmonically very radical, right?
Yeah.
He's changing colors all the time. So those colors, to me, must be very vivid. Do you think of F sharp minor as a dark color? What kind of mood?
A dark shade, yeah, yes.
Does it call for a lot of passion? What is the marking in the music?
Dramatico.
Yes, the marking right at the beginning. What is it that it tells you to do?
Forte, if you mean dynamic.
It doesn't give any mood or anything?
Oh, I said dramatico.
Dramatic, oh.
Yes.
Well, I think no composer will bring that to a climactic meaning better than Scriabin. So why is it dramatic? What else makes it dramatic? You talked about his phrasing. What is one complete phrase in the beginning to you? What did he describe? Could you just play
I was
first?
referring to his writing, what he wrote, phrases like.
Yes, well, what about the phrasing? Can you play one complete phrase like you would sing it? That's beautiful. So what is constant there? I'm sure you know all the answers to this, but I'm trying to emphasize something. There's something that's there all the way through that line you played. Right. Now, here's a question of balance. It's very thick, his writing, always, right? So we've got to think of the balance. You hear the whole thing together, right and left, contrapuntally, but you hear the right hand as the leader, right, of the phrase. You have to, in my ears here virtually, I feel you have to be very careful not to overpower with the left hand. It's not the melody. It's the rhythm, and it's the passion, and it's the drama. Ta-dam! That rhythm is tremendously dramatic, right? But it's not the melody. It's harmonically going to stay there, that whole phrase. So we're going to hear it over and over and over again, right? The D on the bottom, or the C sharp, I'm not sure of the pitch here, but it's F sharp minor. So it's C sharp to F sharp, right?
Yes.
Do you know what I'm referring to, the balance? That's tough with this being on a screen, because I can't tell. If I was in the room with you, it probably would be a little different. But do you see what I'm getting at? That your right hand has to be the leader of the phrase and the melody. So could you do your left hand just under that volume without losing that rhythmic drive that you have? But it's also, the right hand comes in after the downbeat. Is that significant to you? Ta-da-da. It's almost like gasping. Ta-da-da-da-da. Ta-da. It's not, the left hand has the downbeat, but the right hand has the melody. I remember some of the recordings of Richter. I think the dynamic range of his playing is probably some of the greatest. He and Horowitz had a monopoly on the variety of the dynamics. So if you could try the balance better so that your right hand takes off with the melodic line of that phrase, ta-da-da, ta-da-da, like you were singing the right hand. Okay, you want to try it?
Sure.
Is the diminuendo marked in there? And do you know exactly where you're going to start it and where you're going to in that line?
It's not marked, but I'm starting it after this.
Why?
Because I think that's where the phrase is beginning to end. After that.
What about the harmony? Those chords, can you start right there and don't make a diminuendo? That's the first chord. What's the next one? What's the next one? You hear that chord progression? To me, the diminuendo comes too soon. Those are very powerful chords. Da 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 ba ba da da. It's going up a scale, but it's coming down in those very powerful chords until the conclusion, which is just at the end that goes back. Could you try that kind of much longer line to those chords? You can, I know you haven't done it that way, but so far the right hand leading to me is very, very powerful. It's the line. And then those chords, there's 3 of them. Can you keep them strong? And then pa-da-pum, that's the conclusion. It goes back to the dominant. See, you can be, I think, because you've driven that, you can you can be more poetic with the conclusion. Now, do you think you could go from the beginning and go through that far? Did you like it, or did you not?
Maybe I would consider doing that the second time, but
Oh, the
just for,
second,
but
you
just for
can, we
just for
haven't got 2 times to tell a story.
no, I know, but I'm saying for more variety, that I would not do it the same both times.
That's, I don't think, if you don't do it the first time, we haven't got the story complete. You can do something different the second time, but those chords to me are climactic.
Well, I think it would be better to do it the second time because it's more of a climactic moment than the first time.
Well, I guess we have different ideas about it, because if you tell a story and say, I'm going to do something on the 6th page, I don't think it's possible to make music effectively that way. I thought what you just did was pretty fantastic. Do you want to go on after that? First of all, your rhythm is better. We have a beat. So you're really thinking about it more deeply. We have a downbeat, we have the beats. With Scriabin, because of that personality and that extraordinary, just radical wildness of his, to me, the rhythmic beats and the regularity of those beats is twice more important. And you're much better now than you were the first time. It was a little bit without a beat, full of passion and drama, but we always have to have the rhythm and the harmony, always. So that was much better for me. You want to go on from there and see what happens after that? Okay, what key is that?
C sharp minor.
C sharp minor, but it's got a different harmonic field and a different register, right?
Yes.
What is the dynamic that's written?
Mezzo piano.
Mezzo piano. Well, I could hardly hear it. It's different than the opening. Isn't it a different drama? Is it quieter?
Yes.
That's what you did, is make it quieter. And it's down farther, right?
Yes.
So he's varied it, but it's also a different feeling. Or is it the same to you as the opening?
No, it's not the same to me.
And what is your thought about it? What are you expressing?
I think it's more reserved than at the beginning, but still.
Is the rhythm different?
No.
No. He hasn't changed the dramatic rhythm. So can you play it more dramatically but softly? Right there, your left hand overpowers, to my ears, the right hand, because it's going to do something different. The right hand is going somewhere new, right?
Yes.
So we got to hear that. Can you overemphasize the right hand? And then if it's a soft dynamic, then you need, in my opinion, really soft left hand. That's a way to get an MP. Or right hand. Is that a retard?
No.
You just like it, right?
Yes.
It's now going to another key. You see, I'm emphasizing the harmonic progression a lot. It's going somewhere else, and you make a retard like that's it. That's a dominant, right?
Yes.
It's not a resolution. It's going to go on. So can you go on and not make the, just try. You know, I'm probably giving you suggestions you really hate, but I'm trying to direct traffic a little bit with the harmony and where this momentum of the music. It's just full of momentum. So can you do it maybe and try not to do the retard? The right hand was much better.
Do you want me to start from the
MP, right? Is that a different phrase? Or is it the same line to you?
or the
Yeah, yeah. It's like you stopped after that and then restarted. If you could bear to think of this as one long vocal line, I guess my point is that the line doesn't stop. And we can keep going, even with the shifting of the harmony. The rhythm is obsessive. Do you know that? That's a word I could use, couldn't we, with Scriabin? He's an obsessive personality. I think we all agree about that. So we've got to put logic in it. It will still be obsessive, but without the basics of that rhythm and the long line and the shifting of harmony, no matter, you don't stop and start at all. Much more. And there again, I'm remembering the playing of Richter. Oh my gosh, you can put a metronome on it for rhythm. It never, ever goes off. It just, and yet he's wild too. You know, he doesn't lose his wildness or drama. So anyway, can you do from the MP, which I thought was fantastic, with a softer left hand and your right hand develop and don't make retards and keep going with that line. Sing your right hand. Go on. See, that's going somewhere. Okay, that's you see how beautiful when you came to that soft, gorgeous, warm key, then you do some more poetic something. But up until there, I'm hoping that you will try to do that. The music is twice as exciting. It's leading us somewhere very exciting. And then there's this glorious warmth which you bring to it. That's the first big contrast from the drama to the maybe more amorous, more emotionally warm place. So that contrast will be much greater. Can you do just before that, pick up before at the, you know, when it's the wildest, somewhere that's comfortable for you, and go into that warmth again? No, before that. It's how it comes into it.
before
Major, isn't there a major change to major?
A major, yeah.
Yes, that's a big deal. Very big emotional change to the major. I think if I could feel more warmth in it from you and a relief of how beautiful this major thing is. Could we try before that comes in? You just pick the place. Right hand, more right hand. I liked when you came to it, but I had really no clue as to where the downbeat was. When it comes to that beautiful place, you're very erratic in your rhythm. I think along with the major and the beauty of it can come some calm
Okay.
with the rhythm and the beats that are clear. You want to try that? I'm admiring how many things you're willing to try. I have to praise you for that. You could really say, I don't want to do any of this, but you're trying everything. And you know, it really sounds good to me, to my ears, very good. So why don't you do the major and absolutely count regular beats? Where's the downbeat? Can you accent it for me, just for my ears? Yeah, you think, don't you feel good like a conductor is inside of you there? If you were playing with orchestra, I don't think anybody could follow that one. Can you bring out those beats? It works musically. Just sing the right hand and do a real strict rhythm. Then what? Then go on. Okay, you won't like this, but can you play this with a straight face? Absolutely straight, simple, folk song, Russian, without any freedom in your rhythm, just straight melody. Does that kill it for you? You just hate it? You could have a little bit of rubato. You know, the best way to describe a rubato to me, I always quote Liszt saying that it was like you think of a tree trunk that is there for 1,000 years, but the branches wave. So that's a perfect description for me, that we need the beat always, but it can be flexible like the leaves and the branches. That's sort of like this melody. You have to feel where that beat is, and you can be a little bit free with your right hand, but come on a beat. You want to try it again? That was okay, but you can be a little free with the branches in the right hand. Go on. That was beautiful. Much more simple. Okay. Could you do, hello, could you do what you started with exactly and accent the beats, the beats, but play as you did, but make accents on the beats. Perfect. Did that straighten it out so much you don't like it anymore?
No,
Or did you like it? Didn't you feel good?
I guess.
Music, even in its wildness, needs stability to communicate. If it's too wild, the listener is terribly agitated. It's just almost chaotic. With Scriabin, it's tough because we know what kind of personality he had. But that means for me, even more responsibility to keep. That was wonderful what you just did. And it didn't lose any of its passion. It just gained stability. You know, he went, who knows where Scriabin would have gone had he lived longer. He was going straight into the modern era, wasn't he? However, even great contemporary music, now I've played some Elliott Carter, boy, without exact rhythm that he, exact harmonic changes, it's also chaos. So I thought that was beautiful. That needed a lot of control from you, but it wasn't too much. It was enough for me. You want to do that once more and then go on? We don't have too much more time, but so far so good. Are we out of time?
Well, yeah, maybe a couple of minutes and
Couple of
then
minutes? We can go on a little bit farther. That would be great.
Do you want me to go play from
What's,
the...
yes,
Yeah.
that's great. Right hand, more right hand. We want that opening melody again, that line. That was beautiful. If you can think about that, everything you've done here has enhanced the musical strength of this gorgeous piece, which we all think is the most gorgeous. He can write the most beautiful music one could dream of. And you just give it that musical strength and stability by just those modifications for me. That takes nothing away from your drama or your passionate feeling from it. It just makes it more. So that's my contribution. You can think about it, and you played it fantastically.
Okay.
So I thank you.
thank you so much.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you so much for wonderful suggestions. Let me put on the screen our next participant, Vakana Hamada. Let me.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm happy to meet you and hear you.
Good. Very nice to
Great.
meet you.
Yeah.
Giving
Are
me
you at home at your own
Yes.
piano?
Yes, I am.
Yes, that's good. What kind of piano do you have?
I have a Shigeru Kawai.
A Kawai. Yes. And what size? Is it a medium grand?
It's 7 feet.
7 feet. Good. Like a B, Steinway. That's great. So
Thank you.
you're going to play Debussy? Yes. All right. I'd love to hear that.
Yeah.
good. Thank you very much. Have you played other Debussy?
Yes.
How much? How
Um,
many? What
most-
other pieces
uh, other pieces from
of
same book.
Debussy?
Yeah, other pieces from same book one.
Well,
And
of Debussy.
yeah, like a movement and Rameau,
Uh-huh.
homage of Rameau,
Homage à Rameau, right?
and also estamps,
Estampe, that's good. Very
and
good.
a couple pieces from previous.
Uh-huh. So what is your impression of the atmosphere of these pieces?
Um, like this piece, I feel like a little bit the sound of Asian, like
Oh,
sound of the cold.
of instruments, of voice, of a painting, of what Asian?
Uh, like for this piece, I personally like remember my childhood when my grandparents had a koi pond in their backyard. So
What did they have?
koi pond, a
Hmm.
pond
Oh, a
with
pond of
koi
water.
pond,
I
yeah,
see.
yeah, with koi
And
fish.
what did you see in the pond?
Yeah, they had some fish like koi.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, so they are
You love to look at the fish in the pond, right?
yes,
Was the pond calm or did it have waves?
they did some waves.
Sometimes, if the wind was blowing, right? But usually, was it calm?
Yeah,
Yes. And you like that quiet calm?
yes, very much.
Yeah. Do you think this piece can be calm?
Mm. Yes,
Or do
like
you think of it as active?
um, some parts active, but mostly very calm.
Very calm.
Mm.
What dynamic are you using to
I
be
use
calm?
soft, like piano or
How
piano.
soft? There's lots of softs.
Uh-huh. Some
Do you,
parts, yeah,
what is it?
some parts pianissimo.
Ah, are you playing pianissimo?
I don't think so.
It's hard.
Yes.
It's hard to control.
Mm-hmm.
The pedal is a
Mhm.
big help.
Mm-hmm.
If you barely touch the keys and you use the pedal to make the vibration in the air,
Mm.
maybe that's interesting. Can you try that? Can you put your pedal down before you start the piece
Mm-hmm.
and barely touch the keys?
Okay.
Just on the top of the key. Don't go down deep. Now, how did that feel?
It's yeah, I like the sound more.
You like the sound more? I think so. Now, that's sound. That is touch. Now we have two other words that I think we use more than any other playing and teaching. One is rhythm
Mm-hmm.
and the other is harmony.
Mm-hmm.
Very basic.
Mm-hmm.
What are you thinking with the rhythm? Is it regular or is it free?
Uh, some parts, you mean in general in this piece?
No, in this piece, we'll talk about just this piece.
I
In
think
order to create calm,
Mhm.
it's maybe very wise to have a very regular, calm rhythm.
Mm.
How many chords are there in what you just played? Are there different chords? Now here we talk about harmony.
Mhm.
The
Oh,
opening, what kind of chord has he used? Is it resolved chord?
no.
No. Interesting.
Mhm.
The pedal holds it all the way through to the resolved, more resolved chord.
Mhm.
So there are two chords. There's a beat that calm is regular. It has a chance later to move a little bit.
Mhm.
When it gets chromatic,
Mhm.
you know what's coming after this is a
Mhm.
chromatic scale, and it's growing and going somewhere. Then it moves a little more. But in the opening, if you want a calm, we had a house on a pond also. Before we lived in the house where we are now, we were in a house in the backyard was a pond.
Nice.
And every spring, the geese would fly from the south
Mhm.
back to the same pond.
Mhm.
And we could see them come and land on that pond in about April. Very beautiful.
Yeah, I
And the
bet.
pond had the reflection of the flowers that were growing on the side.
Mhm.
And the geese landed splash, but they stayed there for hours, quiet, no motion. So if you could play this opening, the dynamic much better, pedal down before you play, hear one chord all the way through and the second chord. And if you could be regular, that harmony and that quiet is very calm.
Mhm.
So you're rushing, you see, you're rushing through each chord. Try not to do that. And hear the two chords, the first one long, and then the second one. They're like partners.
Oh, I see.
Would you try that? Steady, just steady. Da 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 da. Second chord. Then go on. Then we have the chromatic da 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 dum. Okay, now pedaling. When we've got something chromatic that changes every half step, your pedal can be very active. It can change on every half step very quick, da 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 dum, because that scale in the left hand has to be clear. Try it. Can you play very soft and listen to the left hand?
Mhm.
Pedal, 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 pedal. Pedal, 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 pedal. Play as soft as possible. Yeah, it should be clear. Soft and clear. And then ba, 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 ba. You can hold your pedal for that. It's the same chord that you landed on. You want to start where the left hand comes up there, and you see, because it comes up, da, 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 that's a natural crescendo. It will make the crescendo without you trying. Now, I don't know if it's marked in the music, but that second chord very often is suddenly soft. So that means your weight in your arms goes to nothing. Just completely like you're drugged. Those are two chords there, and the second one can be an echo. Almost no touch at all, and it will be very special, beautiful. Try that. That was wonderful what you did. That chord, can you play it as soft as absolutely humanly possible? That means almost no weight in your arms. Your pedal will carry it. It's very effective if you make a sudden soft on that second chord.
Do you mean this one?
Yeah, can you do right the whole section there? That chord that you just played, if you don't go to the bottom of the key and let the pedal float. Go on. That's beautiful. Okay. Now you said Asia, right? What kind of scale is this? Does this sound familiar? Ta da pa da 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 dum. This is only the right hand. Has a pentatonic scale, right? But the left hand, you have to be very careful. It's not the same. And the pedal needs to be on every single note. But here, the scale is very Asian in your right hand. Debussy loved the pentatonic scale. That's what's in your right hand. You want to do just your right hand so we can hear it right there? Can you play it soft in groups of two? And a little quicker in groups of two, but no weight. Don't go to the bottom of the key. Just use the pedal. That's beautiful. Can you put the left hand with it at that tempo? Not so much weight. This is a very kind of mysterious place in the piece. It's got mystery. We don't really want to hear it clearly. It's way off in the distance. Make it way far away. No, left hand in twos, they're pedal every one. Good, that was good. Don't go down so far in the key, and that'll be good because then we get the conclusion coming. You want to go on? Do that again. That was terrific. have the music there? I don't care if you use it, it's fine. Okay, now that's another key. Da, 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 ba. That fourth note of ta da da ba is a new key. F major, F minor, F major. It has fourths and fifths and an octave. Da, da. Can you play those 4 notes and stop on the 4th one? Yeah, you hear that chord? And then hold the pedal on it, and the next 2 notes are the same chord. So hold your pedal, stop on the 4th note with the pedal, and then hold the pedal for the next 2 notes. See the effect it makes. That's right. And then do what's coming. Yeah, bum, bum. Very, very peaceful. 1, 2. Now a little harp. Right, right. You're creating something beautiful. That's F major. And then the D flat chord there, like a little harp. Beautiful. And they're very calm. You want to do it again? It's lovely what you're doing. Beautiful. Go on. Okay, what is the dynamic? What is the dynamic in the music?
It's from pianissimo to crescendo.
Yes, but how much?
It
You
doesn't-
don't need to do much because again, it's going up.
Mhm.
It is using the fast figure. It's
Uh-huh.
going to make its own crescendo without you doing that much. You have to go up to the top when the big arpeggios start. You have to go all the way up there. So do it more delicately. Your fingers are beautiful, but don't make it loud. It will be brilliant anyway because it's up high on the keyboard. Okay. Wow, that was beautiful. Not so much crescendo. That was beautiful. And your fingers are doing this arpeggio beautifully. Now, where is the melody?
Left hand.
Yeah, my suggestion would be because this is the same chord in your right hand, your left hand can strike the keyboard like you were doing with mallets. Bum, 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 bum. That's a good way to play against that pedaling. So da da ba 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 ba. We'll make it come out just like a gong. Bum 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 bum. You want to try that? That sounds legato. Bum 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 bum. Just completely strike them and very lightly. Da da ba 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 bum. And the same pedal. Don't change the pedal. You gotta fit it. You've got to fit it in with your right hand, but you will. Put your right hand up, your arm up higher. Yeah. Yeah, when you do the arpeggio.
So while I'm playing,
Yes, because the left hand has to get in there.
okay. Something like that.
And then when you play the next D sharp, change the pedal
Mhm.
there, because that's a minor chord and then a major chord coming, and you need to change bum bum on that note, change the pedal, because the chord changes in your right hand too. That was very good. Didn't you like doing that?
Yeah, I like it.
Like a bell?
Uh-huh.
Like a bell. Try it again, and then da dum ba 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 bum bum on that note, change the pedal. Aggressive pedal change, big one. Okay, now here again is striking, ba 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 bum, and no pedal, da 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 dum, and take the pedal on the 1, 2, 3, 4, the fourth one. Try that.
So
Ba 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 ba, staccato. Well, those aren't that hard. Da 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 dum. Can you play them a little slower? Well, you see the right hand and left, they go together. Can you play one chord? Yeah, can you feel them together like one unit? So your arms go pop, 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 pum. Pop, 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 pop. It's the top fingers that have the melody. That's right. Well, wait a minute. Is that the right chord? The fourth one? There we go. That should have pedal, but not before.
okay.
Pop, 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 bum. Oh, that's not the right chord. It's an E natural, I think.
Mhm.
Not so loud. Not so loud. Da, 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 da. It's all very light. That's a better weight. It's a better weight. Da, 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 dum. Not so fast. Ba, 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 bum. It's not that fast. Da, 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 da. It's very clear.
Yeah, I need to.
Yeah. Da, ba, ba, ba. Then you hold the pedal through that whole thing. It's a repeat of it. Then go on. Then go on. Is the retard marked that you're doing? Is there a retard marked in the music?
Oh, not here.
I would think Debussy wouldn't do that. Was he a good pianist? Do you know?
Mhm. Yes.
A phenomenal pianist and a phenomenal musician. I think he put, like Chopin, exactly what he meant in the music. If there's no retard, try not doing it because it will be a longer line, the repeat of what you did twice. I wouldn't make a retard. You want to try it without?
So sorry to interrupt, just maybe a couple more minutes.
Yes, okay. That's beautiful, by the way. Go on and play steady now. Steady from now on. Just the beats, steady beats. Go on from there. That was beautiful. Okay, do we have to stop, Kirill?
Yes.
Okay, you finish it. No, that was beautiful. The pedaling from where you started has to be much more constant. Pedal much more in the climax because your left hand needs clarity. But that was very, very beautiful. And your ending was beautiful when you played it. This is much calmer. And I think we can remember looking at a very quiet water. And that's Debussy. My husband has a great record collection. Among them, one of my favorite Debussy is the Sunken Cathedral, this incredible piece. We have, and my husband collected, a recording of Debussy playing that piece. You can hardly hear the playing. It is so pianissimo. That's him. So you can remember that. It's a lesson for all of us, how to treat the keyboard and the piano, not aggressively in a lot of his music, as quiet as possible, because now we have the example of his own playing. Not that he always played soft, but if it was appropriate, he could play softer than anyone and make us just completely almost cry. It's so beautiful. So thank you very much for your beautiful play.
Thank you so much. And we have Brian and Brandon. Let me see, how do we,
I see a cello.
right?
Hi.
Hello.
There's a piano. How are you?
We're doing good. How are you?
Good. You've picked some beautiful music, Kirill, all of you.
Oh, thank
It's
you.
just pure joy.
Thank you so much for your wonderful insights and
Well, we are all in love with the music, so it's inspiring us, you know. So I hear you have just begun this incredible piece. You chose it, right?
Yeah, we started like last month or last month.
I can barely hear the speaking now. We need a little more.
I'll switch between because the
That's
microphone I'm using for the piano, so I'll switch between it. But yeah, we started it last month or last month. Yeah.
How exciting. That's fabulous. And other Rachmaninoff have you played solo?
I'm been working on the third piano concerto,
Oh, good.
but other than that, not really.
No, but that's a good that's a good thing to absorb. With this sonata, you have two incredible works that
Yeah.
will live forever. That's for sure. So
Brian chose two entry-level pieces for Rachmaninoff, the cello sonata and the third piano.
I know, just a beginner, right? Just a beginner. But it's music to love, that's for sure. So I would love to hear first movement. Is that what you're going to do?
Yeah, we'll play it first.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, I'll switch the microphone back to the piano once. So
All right. Thank you. My goodness. You really have absorbed enormous amount in a month. Just tremendous amount of music and notes and terrific. Absolutely. So I'm going to ask the pianist if you have heard a lot of Rachmaninoff's recordings.
I haven't heard too much of Rachmaninoff's recordings, like his own.
Whose recordings have you enjoyed?
Um, I Horowitz or Argerich for the piano concerto and Clyburn.
I like all that. You picked good people. Have you heard Rachmaninoff himself, though? That's kind of important.
I've heard him maybe twice or three times, but not like yeah, I haven't heard
Not
him.
a lot.
Yeah.
You think that, I'm silly thinking it's important? He conquered the world with his piano playing and the beauty of his tone, the orchestral writing. Do you think this piece is orchestral?
I think in many ways it is orchestral. Like the piano is almost like the whole orchestra part. Like it has
Yes.
sound.
Are you thinking that you have to be careful with cello?
Yeah.
And does the cellist think you have to be careful? I mean, the balance is very low to the piano, as if you're almost accompanying. And if you could expand that orchestral palette, you shouldn't have the fear because he knew how to compose. Also, I remember Rostropovich playing this. Did you hear Rostropovich and Horowitz playing together?
I have not. No.
You haven't?
No, not this piece.
It's an experience of a lifetime. I remember hearing Rostropovich when he first came to this country. I thought that man could be bringing a table on the stage and he could make music out of it. It was like this gigantic presence, a huge instrument, and the tone enormous. Now, you've got a beautiful tone, but Rachmaninoff had one of the greatest sounds of any pianist. And I feel, especially in slow places, you're far too quiet. And we don't get the depth of the tone. And this, did he compose songs? Do you know whether Rachmaninoff composed songs?
Yeah, he did. Right.
Have you heard any of them?
No, I haven't heard.
No. Well, now you know what you should do. The slow areas, especially the opening before it gets, when it gets big, the two of you have a terrific rapport. You really don't, you lose your kind of accompanying sound and you really go for it. And so does the cellist. And then it works. His music works in all dynamics, but your soft playing is so soft, I can barely hear it. It sounds like you're afraid to go more. You got to sing with your whole heart. And I would love to hear a piano much deeper in the opening.
All
You
right.
can try it. Let's see what happens.
I'll switch the microphone back over.
That's better, definitely. Now, what is the dynamic?
Piano.
Yeah,
Not pianissimo?
For me, I have piano.
Let me get mine. I'll get my score.
What kind of opening is this? Is this something soft and soothing?
I would say it's a bit more of a more suspenseful, I guess.
Yeah.
Suspenseful. Therein there is tension, right? Ah, I don't feel enough tension. Harmonically, what is it doing? I like your suspenseful. That's terrific. So we're into the tension of what's happening. We don't really know what's happening very much. It's kind of coming in the back door, right? Asking questions, but they're eloquent. You know that word?
Yeah.
They're not quiet, pianissimo whispers. They ask a question dramatically, theatrically, operatically. That was better, piano. Don't you feel the kind of conversation and questioning between the two of you?
Yeah.
Are you giving it to each other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the cello is like we're passing it off of each other.
But together. I mean, it's a dialogue together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one thing in effect. It's not two things. Can you make it more one unit, like if it was an orchestra coming in? Would be a lot of instruments. Now, let me ask another terrible question. When you come in with the cello, what kind of interval is it? No, cello.
Oh, it's just a half step.
Is that meaningful?
Yes, because it kind of just sets the.
Speaking of tension, you're kind of tiptoeing in there. It's got this kind of tension in it. How deep are you playing? What is the dynamic you said? Piano, not pianissimo.
Yeah.
If it was a Rostropovich, I hate to say that, you could hear it down the street and it would still be piano, but it would communicate the half step, the question, the tension in this. We don't know where it's going. So it's up to us to create it. So I would hate to use the word aggressive, but in a sense from where you are and where I think it will communicate, it's almost that much more. Try it. You may not like it, but you can try. What is it? E flat, E natural, G sharp. Am I hearing the right keys? Sometimes the screen is higher than the actual notes. What are the exact notes? What's your first cello note?
D and E flat.
D and E flat. Okay. Then what? G?
And then piano has G, B, C.
Yeah, da-dum. Then what's the next note?
Oh, B.
Okay. You have to come on a stage in a theater and make that mean everything you got. You want to try? Now he did it wonderfully on the E natural. Da-dum. How much vibrato are you doing on that second note of the interval? Is it slow? Is it fast? Is it got tension in it? Is it visceral? Do you know that word? He did it on the piano. You want to do your piano thing right there? That same thing? That's right. You see, in order to make that note, he had to go deep into the keys. Don't you want to imitate each other that way?
Yeah.
It's the same notes, right? So you start it. That's what makes it so vital that you feel that. I loved the piano coming in. That's makes you together now. Do it again. I'm sure it'll be fine. Okay, now he did the second one more, the lower one, but you didn't. You didn't do the lower one with a even more vibrato because we're going somewhere here and you're leading it. I love the first one, but do the second one more. Ba-dum, ba-dum. And he did it. That's good. You want to do it again? What is the tempo marking?
Lento.
That's okay, as long as you go somewhere. We're not finished yet, right? Okay, try once more and then do the second one more and then go on. You see, I think because that's going to be G sharp minor. The others are questions. This is much more definite, the third one. And you're still soft. We got to keep going in the accumulation of the tension. It doesn't stop with 3 notes. So it's that length. You know, as a songwriter, you got to think of him as a vocal singing, great artist singing. Rostropovich's wife was a singer. Did you know that? He could play the piano as well as the cello, which is disgusting. One should only be able to do one thing well, but he could do both. A lot of instrumentalists could do both, but anyway, da 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 da, and then you're going to resolve something there, right? Can you make 3 things go? 1, 2, 3, and intensify each one?
From the beginning, yeah.
Oh, beginning? Okay.
More, keep going. Keep going. You see, if that doesn't have maximum intensity now, you disappear. So can you make that just a wild vibrato and then you can disappear later? Because we couldn't hear you at the end. And I can hear, unfortunately, what a Rostropovich might do. And he was, you know, the right nationality. So he could understand. That was good, but it was just weakened at the end. I would make that major chord something to celebrate. That was good. Keep going. Do it again because you'll get more used to it, I hope. It's coming out to the listener now. Keep going. More vibrato each time. Don't let up. See how how long? That's Rachmaninoff. You can blame it on him for making us make things longer than we ever think we could sing. So it has to. So now go on. After that, keep going. So has he set up that half step already in the opening?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's still going somewhere and you're softening it again. So we're losing that intensity of where it's going. We got to know where it's going. I know because I know what the piece sounds like, but the listener doesn't. Da da ba dum bum bum bum, but right? Yeah, but da da, it's like a teaser. Da da ba dum. Give it the tension that it's going to explode. Just write those two. More, you see, when you're down that low, we don't hear it. When the cello comes down that low, an octave lower, you need more because you disappear. Uh-huh. Now, what has he written in the piano part there?
In terms of dynamics?
Yeah, I mean, no music. Is it one chord? C sharp minor?
On this, that part?
Yeah, yes. I mean, why has he written it that way if it isn't something totally? Can you play forte and see what happens? Just you. That's exactly right. Can you play together like that and don't minimize that sound or that chord? You see, you disappeared. He needs you. Da 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 da. It's all together. You go very sweetly to accompanying. It's a terrible word. That's not Rachmaninoff. When you get fast and brilliant, it's wonderful because you never overpower the cello. That's fantastic in big places, but this is a blend. Bum, bum, bum. Can you just have the courage to do that while he's playing? You're too polite. Good. Go on. Okay, now you're playing wonderfully. How are you pedaling?
Yeah, do you
Do you,
think
do you think about it or is it instinctive?
I think a little about it, but I think that part was a little muddy, like my pedaling.
Yeah, can you hear it? Can you play your part, a little bit of it with no pedal at all? Let me hear it. Now, can you play it like a solo? Play it with all your passion in there and no pedal. those chords change. They're changing all the time. And we must hear that all. So if you have pedal, your pedal has to go like this all the time, shifting. So it has to be clear. You want to play together and play pretty much like you just did for just an experiment, but really play brilliantly. Well, what did that feel like? I could hear everything, number one. And there's something going on all the time. So if you hear all of that, it goes with him. You never overpowered him. You just filled it in. So it's one texture. It's like a tapestry of color. The Russian colors, he's it as far as Russian color. Now you will learn to pedal those chords. But the fingers should be that clear. They go around him like this. He knew what he was doing, the composer. So it's not effective if you keep down, because it should be the whole thing together. Okay, can you go on from after that? And let's just hear what comes. Now, wait a minute. This is a transition. What are you doing here? Are you disappearing on the piano?
No.
Rhythmically, what is the significance right now? Have we heard that rhythm just now? Dum bum 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 bum. So it's important. Bum 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 bum, and you're all alone, right?
Yeah.
You can't disappear. You see how to make that transition. That's a tricky thing. How to dum bum bum. What are you doing? Do you know what you're doing? Have you planned it? Have you thought about it? How you enter that tune? That's maybe one of the most beautiful places so far right now, and you're carrying it.
I think the attack and the tone of the notes should soften, like become less hard, maybe less harsh in a way, and more sweet.
What kind of rhythm is that? Is that a sweet rhythm?
No, not really.
Ba, ba, bum, bum. Is it a trumpet? Is it what orchestra instruments would play that? Bum, bum, bum. Isn't that kind of like an announcement, like a, grandeur,
Yeah.
even soft? I see you've weakened the entrance that way to that gorgeous melody. You got to lead to it. What is it? Are you watching dynamics in the music? Does it have a diminuendo?
No, it doesn't.
Doesn't. You're just kind of liking it that way. And it's weak. Bum, 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 bum. Keep driving that line, bum, and the rhythm forward into the melody. Okay, what tempo? Is this a different tempo?
Yeah.
What does it say?
Moderato.
Moderato.
So is there going to, maybe you can make a retard
Yeah.
rather than a diminuendo into that, but not much change in tempo, just very little. Otherwise, it sounds like a new piece. Dum bum 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 bum, something like that. Okay. If you continue that rhythm, you're not. You think it's disappeared now. Dum bum 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 bum. That pulse is still there when you play the melody. Can you try that? It's got to have that pulse, even though it's maybe one hair pulled back, but it doesn't leave. Da, 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 dum. Did you make a retard? Is that in 2 sections, that melody? Da, 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 dum. Is that 1 section, or you want to make the whole thing until the end? So you got to push it. That was good, that one, because you didn't leave the pulse. No pianist ever was greater with rhythm than Rachmaninoff. He goes to the top. You can count on it. Your life can depend on it. So it's got a pulse. Dum bum 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 bum. That's why that rhythm is so powerful. Da 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 dum. Da 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 ya da da dum. Da 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 da. You got to conclude it. Then you can maybe retard at the end of 2 of them. Can you try that? What you doing with your pedal? You gotta pedal every note, pedal, 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 pedal. Good. Pedal, 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 pedal. Now, are you making a retard because it's written? I'm being really ruthless here. You're gonna continue this melody. It's not disappearing, right? Isn't the cello coming in?
Yeah.
Got to lead right to it. Now, I'm making a gesture here that you maybe can't see. This is applicable to many composers, mostly Chopin, that when you play the melody note, your pedal foot is up and catches it. That clears it. Dum, dum, bum, bum, bum. If I were there, I would lie on the floor, which I've done many times in master classes, and worked people's feet. And I can tell you that the guys don't like it, but I do it anyway, because it is a certain motion that when you hear the tone that you make, the foot is up like a breath and catches it quick. You want to try that? Can you see what I'm gesturing? Da, 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 da. It's literally like that. And Chopin all the time is like that when it's a melody. It makes the vibration sing out into the air, project. Fast. Keep going with the rhythm. Let me ask you, the dynamic again is probably soft, right?
Yeah.
If you try to play this with your whole heart, forte plus, and he's going to be nice under you, it's going to work that you project the beauty of this thing. That worked a lot better. Did you hear what that did? It makes the tone deep and jump out. Da, 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 like a voice. Arthur Rubinstein, people asked him how he made his tone such a beautiful tone. He said, for years, I asked singers to stand next to me so I could breathe with them and see how they made their sound. That's Rachmaninoff very much. These melodies are killing. So if you do it nice and soft, we won't get it. So that's what I'm helping with the pedal here for him to project that. That doesn't make it loud. It makes it communicate right into the listener's heart. So can you play, you know, what you don't want to play that's really a big vibrato?
Right from
Yeah, right from your edges.
You see what happened that was so beautiful that you could now at the end make that beautiful diminuendo. You see, it's up a dominant. It's up. So ta-da-dum comes down. So I'm urging you both to do this. And when you come in with a tempo, underneath, so you're not too slow, so that there's a similarity. Okay, I don't know what time we have, probably not much more.
Oh, we ran out actually.
You ran
Didn't want
out,
to.
I think so.
Yes,
But this has
yes.
been just a joy. You may not feel how much joy there is in what you're doing and what we're working together for this style and this composer. He's just the singer, the best of all. Maybe Chopin too, maybe Schubert too, but definitely the sound. And this generation, my husband and I find that the concept of sound, we cannot hear these great artists anymore. Only on recording, maybe, but we don't get it. We don't go to concerts, we don't hear it. And when we hear it completely, it moves us to tears where we can't speak. It's so beautiful. That's why we love Rachmaninoff. Anyway, I think it's beautiful what you're doing, quite astonishing, having just done it such a short time. But please believe in this sound projection and the beauty of big sound. It's not going to come out loud, you see. It's going to come out with full-hearted. So thank you very, very much. Thank you for letting me come and then
Thank you
making
so much, Miss
friends with
Schein,
music.
for your wonderful, inspiring masterclass. And thank you also all the participants and all the visitors. We definitely, we're very fortunate we were able to record it, and we will broadcast it again sometimes in June to a much wider audience, so our piano teachers can see it in the area, and other music patrons. We're so fortunate to have and Schein with us today. I know you have a very busy teaching schedule, and thank you so much for your time. It's also 3 hours later.
That's fine.
Yeah, we're in
No
Connecticut.
problem.
Yeah,
No problem.
yeah.
Wonderful. So hope
Thank
we
you.
meet again, and thank you for inviting me. It was
Oh,
just a
you're
great honor.
such a wonderful comments, very inspiring, and I'm sure we're going to be discussing it for a long time to come and learning from it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care. Good luck.
And I hope we can continue that collaboration in the future as well.
It would be wonderful. And
Yeah.
love to your family and your musical family.
Thank you so much.
So we put leave, and I'm going to say bye-bye.
That's right.